Hi, I'm Jackee, and I work for Apple. I'm going to talk about how storytelling merged with software development can make for a productive workflow. And so, storytelling here and software development. When we merge two different kinds of processes, it allows us to think outside the box. And that's the requirement to create something new, to reinvent yourself, right? And to kind of throw away old paths. Before I keep going further, I just want to let you know who I am. I work for Apple, but I am a storyteller, and my medium is film. And so that's important for me because I need to know who I am so I know why I'm doing what I'm doing. And so I have for you is, how many of you guys, by raise of hands, consider you software architects? You can raise them up high, it's fine. It's no wrong answer. Programmers? Coders? You could be all three. And everything in between. It's okay. But the truth is, to do something well, you need to be clear, and there needs to be focus. Whoops, fast. And so I love this quote because I think about it all the time when I'm working. In a singular moment, you can be only one thing. And so when I'm telling you that I'm a storyteller, I'm closest aligned to a software architect. So what I think about is the world in which a story takes place. I think about the character, what she does, and then the main conflict, right? I don't think about what I'm building this world with. I don't even care at this point. I'm just thinking about the overall arching scenario. And so what we're going to use today is a story structure, a very basic one that we all know. A protagonist, her conflict, and then a resolution. And then we apply it to software development, right? We have a user, she has a need, maybe even a problem, and then the app that we develop and the tools we develop will resolve it. And so when I think about a character, right, I want to know everything about her, what she thinks, what she wears, even how she smells. I don't care, every single detail. Because I want to know what she does before she even does it. Why not? That's how I know I can do something really well. But this looks like chaos in the software development world. We just want one thing. That's our user. But you tell me to develop something like this, I would be like, I don't know. And so when we take this information, what we do is we take what's most relevant, right? What's actionable. Okay, she lives in a metropolis, she's in a city. She loves to read, she loves to travel. This is something we can use, right? And so we put that into the foreground. But everything that we've learned about this user before, we have to kind of subconsciously remember, because that's important. Because this is going to help us develop a sense of intuition. This will drive our decisions later on when we do updates. What does this user want again? Where does she live? Is she busy? And this is why we do that. Because in storytelling, we have this thing called suspension of disbelief. We believe everything when a movie is good, when a story is good. Why? Because it's well told, right? We believe that trees can talk. We believe there are hobbits running around. There's Middle Earth. There's a ring of power. Because we craft an ability for the user, or sorry, for the audience, to just let things go. And so when we know the world of the user very well, we do the same thing. They trust that UI could be in the wrong place, but it's okay. It works. Maybe they'll fix it later. You know, that's the thing about developing trust. Now you have a relationship with the user. You can make a mistake. It's okay. Because they trust that your development and your ideas have their best interests. And so now that you have a relationship with this user, have a little bit of trust, you know the kind of the world that she is in, you're able to look at her situation and her problem, and you can probably solve it really easily, understand it really well. So for example, this is what we call, conflict in a story, right? The central conflict in Lord of the Rings was Frodo needed to go to Mount Doom, toss this ring of power, not get killed, and be successful, right? That's the conflict. That's the central thing. Now, if we had a user who, on a Friday night, wanted to hail a cab, make sure the cab arrives, take her to a place on time. This is before Uber days, okay? How is that going to happen? So that's her problem. She wants that to be resolved. You're like, that's so easy. Done, right? You're like, I can even, put in a payment system. Why not? I'm going to put in Yelp and let them Yelp the users and the drivers. I'm going to do all that stuff. But hold on. Her problem was only one thing, right? She wanted to make sure that she can get a driver to commit to where her location was. She wants to make sure she can get to where she wants easily, conveniently, simply, right? And so make sure that your solution actually just solves that one problem first before you tackle everything else, because everything else is just extra. Don't do all the other stuff. There's no sprinkles without the cupcake, seriously. So what if I can pay if I can't get to where I go? So what if I can do this if the driver never arrives and cancel all my rides? And so it's important to make sure what the main problem is. And so now we got it, right? We know the user, we know the world, we have a solution. What next? Okay, so Frodo actually had a lot of friends, right? He had the elves, he had Samwise that helped him get to the top. And so these are his tools. These are the things that he used to achieve his goal, right? And so when we're thinking about, this is the app we want to create, we want to get this woman from point A to point B, what do we need to do? First, we wonder if we're going to be using pre-existing infrastructures that already exist. Is there already an app out there? Are there cabs that we need to hire? How are we going to do this? And then once we figure out how, we go, what are we going to build? Is it going to be a mobile app, desktop, analog? I don't know. But you do know, because you answered all these questions previously. You know who the user is. You know what is being built for. You know she is living in the city. You know she's in her mid-late 30s, probably really busy, probably doesn't care, just wants to get everything done. So you do this. You're like, I'm going to build an app for all the cabs that already exist. I don't want to deal with liability issues. Sorry, Uber. I don't want to deal with any of that stuff. I want to support the community. This is what the girl wants. We're going to give it to her. And then you know what we're going to do? We're going to tack on a payment system. Why not? That's a sprinkle. That's a sprinkle for her. That's awesome. It does what she needs, and then you add just a little bit more. And maybe you can add a few more sprinkles in the updates and the releases. And then we're done, right? This is the app. We're finished. But hold on. It's a 1.0. What does that mean? A lot of bugs. Maybe you were wrong. Maybe she doesn't want to pay. Maybe she wants to yell at the user. Maybe she wants to rate them. Maybe she's wanted to find a way to complain. Maybe the UI is all wrong. She wants one button. She doesn't want 10. And so in the world of art, we call this postmortem. You know, this is where we spend 10 hours and get criticized about how worthy or not worthy this piece of art is. And it's painful. You cry and you scream. But you find out what you do wrong. And then you find out what you do right. And then you merge these ideas. And then you apply them to the new project. And then it becomes amazing, right? But you got to do it all over again. And so then you go back to what you've done. And you go, with this product, how is it now affecting this user? What is it missing? What's new? How has she changed? What else does she need? And then we iterate, right? This is in milestones. You can iterate 10 times in a milestone. You make that your goal. If you can iterate before you release, you do a much better job on your 1.0, right? So one of the amazing things about kind of embracing what you don't know and knowing that you're going to make mistakes is that you can just focus on the stuff that you do know. And then you develop with clarity, right? You want to develop with clarity because then you have a clear vision and a clear story for your app. When you have that, your app will be stellar. It'll be amazing because you have a target audience and you have an exact, precise thing that you're building. And so with that, I'm leaving you a quote from Einstein. That's it.